Well, another build update, and I did it. The name is now a lie. We are Ethan Affliction, no slam, but we slam. So what I did is, I was doing this beyond a node. I'll even show you it, honestly. I don't even care. In Delve, and it was blocking this minion node, and then basically it was so thick. It just wouldn't stop spawning. It was absolutely insane. There was a boss. It was just so tanky. Endurance charges. This crit multi. I'm not crit immune without, like, I'm Solaris. So, like, and then it was stealing my frenzies, and then it was just so tanky. It just wouldn't stop spawning, and I was like, well, some clear with some zombie slamming would help there. It's still like, it's still beyond, and it's still a brick, because it's at 816 delve, and it just seriously just doesn't stop spawning. It doesn't make any sense. The boss is spawned, and the thing is still spawning monsters endlessly. It's literally a fucking brick wall, and doesn't make any sense why it exists. Anyways, besides that, so zombie slamming, and then the main thing is you would lose life. So that was why, but now to the actual build updates. Sorry. So zombie had 68 more life, and so it was at like 117 or something. And so what I did is I kept him at 88 by switching my elegant hubris. So I used the POB to find a better one, and then I found this one for like 4 divs, I think, 3 divs. So it's 80 minion damage on the deep wisdom. I love having notables on the deep wisdom because I path through it. So 80 minion damage here, and then 80 minion life. We pathed it for 3 points, and so it's 80 divided by 3. It's more efficient than taking my 12s in my medium cluster, and then 80 minion damage here through the anoint, because it would be a 4. It's not as good. So yeah, 160, 80, and then took my minion life from 200 to 281. So that's quite a lot more. That's where, like, I get the zombie life back, kind of. So they're at 89k with slam, so that's pretty cool. And then the first thought is behead was because they weren't slamming. And so it's actually kind of cool that there's the 2 zombies, the one that strikes and then the one that slams, because this doesn't work on the slam, so you don't get extra range. It's kind of funny. And then we put pulverize instead. So the normal zombie slamming level 40 is 136 AoE, 136 increased CDR. And then I put pulverize, so less attack speed, extra AoE, and more AoE damage. So big slams, the biggest slams you've ever seen, because it's the highest level, plus actually running an extra gem to have the extra AoE. So I guess I'll show you guys the size of this shit now. Slams. Yeah. Now you can see it. Oh, dude, it's huge. It's like the screen. The fortunate. Alright, so yeah, big zombie slams. Then you use the celestial, so you actually don't really see them. Then you get the visual clarity. It's nice. And then I also did War Banner, and so so it was like story time with the zombie slam, because I feel like if I just make the change and you don't know why, it doesn't matter. So the zombie slam was clear when there's just shit non-stop spawning, and they're all like giga tanky uber bosses, and so it isn't single target anymore. It's actually just full AoE the whole time. You can't have only single target. It doesn't work. Okay, so then the second one was War Banner. We impale, and then you hit a node, you hit delve, or you hit maps, and you do avoid impale and you just have half impale damage and it doesn't feel good, or you do anything that has fizz damage reduction, physical damage reduction, makes it so your impale is worse, and then it's just War Banner. Read it. It's like the Elder Helmet on the AG. It's just good, and it works in those situations, and so makes us, I feel like, stronger on average, in all, instead of, yeah, being affected by the mods as much, yeah, more. And then I still have it with the Awakened Generosity, increased AoE, so then technically, at this point, since I don't need the accuracy, especially with the slam can't be evaded, you could just run Defiance Banner and then save 2 sockets, but I'm going with War Banner for the extra damage for now. I like it. And you actually feel it then on the AG explosions and stuff, because the Impale didn't work on that. And then the War Banner could also help, and then work better with like a crit version potentially, if we just do crit instead of Impale. Yeah. There's also the delay on the Impale, but it actually is fine when you have so many minions. Like it works pretty well. But yeah, there's still technically a delay on the Impale damage. So this way you actually have faster damage too. Oh, and then for fun, I was trying, well, the flask I have evasion on, so we're at 13k evasion, 10k armor. I could have the 19k armor instead, 6k evasion. You could also just drop the grace completely and become a haste determination build, so then you're doing more extra damage with the attack speed and the move speed. But evasion's sick, especially, like I say, beyond is fucked. So get all that extra evasion in there. The fizz as extra is really nasty too, because they get so much. They just get so much fizz as extra. Like 100% is insanity. Only 30, meh. 100, that's insane. So then, yeah, the behead doesn't really work, it seems, on the slam. And then I tried to awaken melee splash because I was like, more melee splash AoE. Well, if you could get more AoE out of this thing, that would have been great, but it doesn't work, so, nope. And then, yeah, it doesn't work, so don't worry about it. And then, there's also one more thing you could use. I don't have the gem, but I'll just show you. Ruthless. And then, you have the big hit with the big repeats, and then you get the big bleed, and yeah, there's some synergy because I have a chance to bleed Jewel in the build now. So you can get a bigger bleed, and then also the big hit, and then it would also synergize, and you get stuns in the build if the things can be stunned, if you're fighting something that can be stunned. And then also you'll get, you know how it's not permaslam? The zombie no permaslam because the cooldown too high, even with the max CDR, with the highest level, because of our attack speed, it's just too much. We got too much attack speed, let's be honest. Especially with haste, and if we do even more scaling, we're not even done. So, point is, they are gonna normal attack, and then that's where the pulverize is, like, actually a worse gem. Because less attack speed on the normal, and then it doesn't do any extra damage. So the normal default attack so the single target default attack can do like 15 less with this, but the AoE then is really great, and it's what it's mostly doing, and it's not really default attacking too much, hopefully. And when it does, then like I say, that, like, the single target is now, let's say we that should never be an issue, and then it's about the AoE. And then if we're doing something where we don't care about the AoE, then we could take Ruthless, for example, or something else for just the single target if we're doing like just bossing. But I even point out, like, there's a lot of bosses where there's some shit that spawns, and then it has, it's just a lot of tanky shit. True. But, yeah. Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members who support the channel. Rico549, Joe No Mercy, David, Stephen, Hannes, Cynic, and Sanchin, and then Nicholas and White Wolf. Thank you guys so much. Bye!